Hi everyone, and welcome to Calm Creations Crafttube Flosstube. My name is Tia. An empty desk, not empty, but a clear desk generally means something new. So, Corinne is the enabler, and she has started, she's just recently in the last couple of days posted a video on how she makes her tab spine journals. Now, I've never made one of those before, so I have started it, and what she is going to be putting in her journal is Jennifer Coulston's Snippet stitcheries that inspire her, that she creates. Now, I have made the first part of the journal, and I'm also going to be adding little snippet pieces to mine. So what the journal is we've got a cover, we've got some tabs, and we've got some pages and a back cover. So how this works is you've got that in there like that somehow, and then that one there, and then 3 pages. So 1, 2, 3, and they all get stitched in. So that's the base of it, but go and watch Corinne's video. It's a very thorough video, easy to follow, and you come up with a journal like this. So these are the signatures, and a stitchery will be stitched to that, to that, to that, and to that. But because the page is open, when you stitch them together, you're not going to see the backs of the stitcheries. So that is my base. It's only little, it's only 4 by 6, so it's going to be a fun little journal to put together and just add little bits and pieces as I feel I want to. So the first one that I'm going to work on the cover, and what I found in my little fabric scraps was a piece of this fabric. Now this is a New Zealand, I think it's a native bird, it's a pukeko. Over here there's an equivalent similar bird that's called a purple swamp hen. So this is the pukeko, and I thought I could do that as a cover because those 2 little guys sort of, you know, and I could embroider and stitch them down, but I've decided not to do that, but I may do that as a page in my book. But what I did find was I bought this bag of scraps from the op shop, and it just gave me a whole different range of bits and pieces that, you know, I wouldn't normally have. So there's all sorts in here. There's pinks and prints and little bits and pieces. I mean, look at this piece. Isn't that beautiful? And I can use that. So the journal's not going to be just these fabrics, it's going to be all sorts. So, but it just gave me a range of, I've got that fabric, a range of different fabrics that I wouldn't normally have. So what I've done is I've pulled out some pieces and I've made a page that I'm going to stitch, which is this page. So let me put those out the way. So this is my first page. This is going to be my cover. So that's going to go on there. I can add lace or a trim to the side. And what I've done is I've drawn a little branch or stem, and I'm going to follow in Jennifer's book, her foolproof embroidery book, which is this one. Let me see, can you see that? Yeah. On page 9 is that pattern. Can I turn the brightness down? How do I do that? Can you see that? Oh yeah, that's a bit better. With this is talking about the rule of thirds, but then she goes through step by step how to, I might turn that up a little bit, how to add the different elements to create this vinyl embroidery piece, which is what I want to have a go at, doing all of those different elements on my piece of fabric. So that's what I'm going to do with this piece. So I need to find some threads and some and a needle and get started. So that's my idea for this project. So I think there was a hashtag Corinne spoke about. I'll have to look that up. But that's the idea for this new little project. Now I also watch, oh, hang on, let me tell you, a YouTube channel called Night Owl Crafts and Collectibles, and she does all of these little tiny stitcheries that are, I think they're 4x3. They're tiny, but she uses all sorts of different fibres and fabrics and things like that. I'm not very brave in that aspect. I tend to always stick to the quilting cottons. I need to be a bit more adventurous with that, and start using more different types of fabrics. But she uses a lot of felt, and she makes these little sceneries. So I want to have a go at doing some of those and maybe put those in here. It's just going to be a little place to put little stitcheries. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to find some threads and start working on, can you see there's the beginning of my little twig thing. Start stitching this little piece. So it's backed on a piece of calico, and I'm going to start embroidering this. So let me go and find what I need, and I will be right back. Right, I'm going to do what's fast become one of my favourite stitches for stems, which is the chain stitch. Because it's nice and quick and easy, and then I may, like all the others, whip it. We'll see how we go. And I'm using this Appleton wool in the like a moss sort of greeny colour, like an olivey green. So I'm just going to do that all the way up to the top. be able to add all the other bits in. I find it hard to talk and stitch at the same time. Plus I haven't really got anything to talk about. Not a lot happens in my world. Not a lot at all. So my phone has been ringing though off the hook this morning. I've had a call from work. I've had my sister, one of my sisters, and then my oldest daughter. So if the phone rings again, just don't know. So yeah, it's been all full steam ahead here this morning. My daughter I talk to every day, my oldest daughter, that's Spencer's mum. So I was talking to her, then talked to him. He was having his breakfast. So he was having Fruit Loops for breakfast, and then he's getting ready to go to daycare. So he was telling me he's having Fruit Loops with no milk, Nanny. So they would turn out to be more like a snack for him, I suppose. But because when he comes here he just doesn't eat the amount that he should, because he's too busy off doing stuff and he hasn't got time to eat. He just wants to go exploring and play. He just doesn't think food is that important when he's here. He was fine when he was when he was a bit smaller, but now he's a bit bigger. He just hasn't got time. So you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's how he is. So I'm just doing tiny chain stitch, excuse me, all the way up. Right, let me zoom in a bit so you can actually see. Hold on, that way. Bring that down there. There we go. So, can you see there? I think the stem in the book, Jennifer's done a stem stitch. So, which is obviously another good one to use for stems. Just pull that out. But I find I always go back to the same sort of stitches that I've used before. I need to, I mean, I've done lots of stem stitch, but, and I get my favourites and keep repeating them, but I need to again be more adventurous with my embroidery, because I just do the same old thing. Well, that's how I feel, but I mean the fabrics always make it so different. But yeah, I'll get up to the top of this one and then I will pause and carry on and finish the stem, and then we can start on the flower, which is going to be challenging. Stems I'm fine. Flowers, I'm not sure about. Oops, that one's twisted. Did I get, oh, I didn't do it. Where is it? Now I've gone and made a mess. No, if I go back through there carefully. So that's caught on that thread. Okay, let's pull that little bit back out. A bit more. And we're going to do that. I'm going to have to snip that little tiny fibre in there. Get hold of my needle. Pull that back up. So now I've messed that up. What have I done? Let's go from the back. Okay. May have to pull out another one. I don't know what I've done. Okay. Right, you get it all here, don't you? Right, I think I've got it though. Let's try and get this needle re-threaded again. Okay. There we go. Now just watch what you're doing, Tia. That's better. I was going to do like a bit of crazy patchwork on this one, but that can certainly be another little stitchery to add. But this one I thought I'd follow the steps in this first part of Jennifer's book and challenge myself to do something a little bit different. But there will definitely be a crazy patchwork piece going in here somewhere. Okay. Lucky last. Let's anchor that off. tie it off at the back. And then start again at the bottom. Okay, so there's that first part of the stem done. Let me zoom you back out. So I will do these two little stems and then I'll whip them and then I will be back. Won't be long. Okay, so I finished doing my stem and now I'm just up to whipping it. So what that is you're just going around each chain to create a more dimensional stem. You can do it with a contrasting colour, you can do it with a matching colour. I'm doing the same, so it just makes my little stem a little bit more, I don't know if you can see that, where's that? A little bit more dimensional. So then you just scoot your needle underneath the chain. Whoops, I had it then. There we go, and then just do all your chains and it creates that sort of look. Now, did I do that one? Doesn't matter, we can do it again. I think I might have already done that one. Okay. And then all the way up you go. So let me finish that and I will be right back. Okay, that is all stitched and whipped, so that is done. Now the next thing it says to do is add the centre of your flowers. So there'll be a centre there and a centre there, and it looks like they're French knots or colonial knots. So I need to find a thread to use. It's too orangey and probably too thick. Let me grab an embroidery thread. Give me 2 seconds. Right. I think I want like a buttery yellow. Excuse the noise. Oh. Maybe that one. Yes. Okay, let's do some knots. Okay. I'll just move that out the way. And we're going to do some French knots for the centres. Let me just make that a bit bigger. Yep, I can see that that's I've probably got the wrong needle. Okay, let's do some in here. And I've got all 6 strands, which I think will be okay. So there's, I can't even see. Definitely got the wrong needle, but we will if we can get this threaded. Okay, right. This one's not much better. I think I have to go back to the other one. Okay, that didn't work. So, put that one back. Okay, let's try again. 2. And then I don't know what that stitch is coming around that flower. So I just loosely drew in something relatively similar to what was on the pattern. So we will see. I'm not exactly sure what that stitch is. I'll have to figure it out. What I will do is I will pause the video. I'm going to go and make a coffee. Then I'm going to come back and finish all my little, let me show you them. Focus. Finish all my French knots and go on to the next step. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so all my French knots are done in the centres, and I've also done what is called a cast on stitch around one of those little French knots. So I am going to leave this video here for today, and I'm going to finish stitching those little cast on stitches around the French knots, and again up in here. I may change to a bit thicker thread. This was the one that I was using, and it's very, very fine. I love the variation of the colour in it, and it's going to work perfect, but it's just very, very thin, so I'm going to have to find something else, I think. But that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this new little journey I'm going on, and I will see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye.